Hello everyone, welcome to Eternal Brews. My name is Pojo. I hope you're having a wonderful time. There's an event coming up this weekend, so we are modifying one of our decks, the Four-Clawed Power Sync, to play in that event. So if you're interested in playing in the event with something relatively fun and actually relatively good, this is the deck for you. We also have a very, very silly no-spell Huru deck that's going to be probably the thing I'm going to be playing with the most, but this is a little bit more on the level as things might be, with the exception of one particular card, Kaleb Uncrowned Prince. I really like Kaleb. I hope that he gets his time in the sun soon, and now that Moment of Creation is coming out, he'll have at least one more thing to play random weapons on, so that'll be pretty exciting. But we're definitely going to look to see what else is offered in Praxis. Champion of Impulse will be a great inclusion in this deck, and if we see some other good red cards, then Kaleb might actually get a lot of fun stuff happening. I think he works very well in Praxis decks, so if we can get some hybrid Praxis cards, we'll see a little bit more value out of him. Anyways, the basic idea behind this deck is very, very simple. Play a power every turn, ramp every turn, continue to play units and torch targets, and occasionally even drop down a Xenan Obelisk and buff up all your stuff. Do all of that while doing the first two things, and make sure that you do the first two things, because you're going to want to try and get up to Claw of the First Dragon as early as turn 6 if you can, turn 7 at the latest. Get this thing out, play it, and win the game. Like, there are a lot of ways in which Claw of the First Dragon can really weigh out on a deck scale in a fashion that is just really impressive. It will typically get you some sort of light removal, kill some sort of medium-sized unit after you run another one of your units into it, or maybe kill a smaller unit, or kill a 4/4, which is really the best thing. The owls off of Great Parliament make great targets for Claw of the First Dragon. And then when this Claw dies, you get an Entomb effect that is better than the Claw itself. 4 random 1-cost units, which interact extremely well with the amazing Xenan Obelisk, but also are just generally great at refilling your board with tokens for all of the fun token-based strategies that you're doing. Basically, you're just going to be going very wide, you're going to be trying to push a lot of damage, and all the time you're going to be ramping up to real advantage cards, even while posing as an aggressive deck. And that's the thing that really makes this kind of fun. So we are using secret pages to ramp, which means that we can get up to our later plays a little bit earlier. And since we're running 4 copies of Find the Way, along with cards like Temple Scribe and Amber Acolyte, we actually have a lot of different ways to find the power that we're looking for, so that we're always playing power drops, even when we are ramping with secret pages. That's pretty relevant. Like, we actually need to be able to draw power every turn for secret pages to be relevant. So you do need Find the Way in this deck. And this deck is designed for the event in which there will be 4 moments of creation shuffled into it. So once that happens, once this video sort of becomes out of date, I would suggest cutting some of the Kalebs and putting some moments of creation in here, because they're actually pretty good, and you can throw in cards like Rally. Rally is very good with all of these tokens. We're using the more expensive Rally, good old Kaleb, who is just a nasty charge unit that does fun things. Okay, so other things going on here. Mystic Ascendant has very solid interaction with all of the power that you're going to be drawing. You can flood really hard here, so Mystic Ascendant will really help you out of that situation and give you a ton of value for all of the power that you're drawing. Ancient Lore fixes your power so that you are able to continually draw the power that you need to get up to 7 or 8 very quickly, and also gets you out of flood situations where you're top decking and you're just trying to draw anything that's gas. Typically, if you're at around 7 or 8 power and you're just like, I just need to not draw more power, Ancient Lore not only draws you something good, but it oftentimes draws you 2 things that are good, and you can play both of them. It buffs up your own units like Temple Scribe and Amber Acolyte and Initiate. All of these cards want to have an extra +1/+1 if they can, +2/+2 if possible. So giving them extra bonuses with Xenan Obelisk really helps your board state overall. And basically all of the rest of the plan is to fill the board. We run Grenadin Drone, we run Initiate, we run Temple Scribe, Amber Acolyte, Assembly Line, and all of that interacts favorably with the Xenan Obelisks that we are setting up as we draw through our deck, and we thin out our deck by pulling all of the power out of it. Kaleb's the fun of here. He's basically subbing in for Rally, so if you don't have Kaleb's, just run Rally, or Stand Together, or Arcana Monitor is pretty good. You can't run Stand Together in this version, but we do, of course, have some really good Combre versions of the deck, which we will share after we play around with this a bit. But I actually like the Combre version even better, and I'm pretty excited to show that off once we are into Omens. Should be really fun to build big Praxis stuff, and I'm sure we'll see a few more brews along those lines. Okay, so the deck is pretty straightforward for the most part. We are just trying to play power every turn, trying to play big threats. It's really sort of how good Claw is that needs to be demonstrated. So we're going to be playing a couple of rounds, showing off like some of the power of Claw and some of the not so much power, but at least delights of Kaleb. And I will see you guys in game, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. So see you there. All right, we're up against Queek. Grenadin, Joan Initiate, Temple Scribe. I think I like this hand. A lot of good things about it. Some weird things too. I can play a Diplomatic Seal here and actually have... Oh, if I play Seed of Impulse too, I can play Temple Scribe. It's kind of a weird situation where I kind of want to play Diplomatic Seal, but I really can't. So we play Seed of Impulse here. Play Temple Scribe to draw. We're always looking to try and play power every turn. So that's the primary goal, even more than establishing tokens. We want to play power every turn because Claw is just crucial here. So I'll play my 4th power and I'll probably Ancient Lore. Okay, we've actually got the ability to avoid Ancient Loring here. I think I do want to Ancient Lore though because I don't have 2 red. So I need to find Amber Acolyte, play it down, get my red, and then I'll be able to claw on turn 6 or so. Be claimed by shadow. Alright, this deck has a really obvious goal, and that goal is to get Copper Conduit into the void so that it can play a bigger one. Safe travels, friend. It's likely going to be pretty good at that goal. I will have to block it at some point. Play a Diplomatic Seal here. We're going to hide the fact that we have double red. And end my turn. I might just ignore Copper Conduit. I'm in pretty good shape overall, so Copper Conduit dying is actually the worst thing that can happen to me. He wants to devour it and give it like +4/+4. That's certainly something, but I can mostly ignore it here. Okay. Found ourselves a Temple Scribe. Praxis Banner plays out. I can Secret Pages. I'm not sure if there's a major benefit to it. End my turn. Swings for 4 here, that's fine. I think we will Secret Pages, even though it kind of means that we don't get to play fun games with Ascendant later. Start turn. Play Diplomatic Seal. I forgot to Secret Pages anyways. Alright, let's go ahead and knock this one out. And now I can attack with my 3/2 if I feel like it. But I think I'm good. Dark Return gets Cultist back. We're still just kind of ignoring Cultist. No blocks there. I'm generating more stuff than he can deal with. Blind Storyteller, can you fetch me a Kaleb? Fetching me an assembly line ain't bad. Swing with everything. I deal a whole bunch of damage. fill up the board. Everything's looking pretty good here. Okay, that's fine. We got the Devour out. He gained some health. Need to find ourselves a Kaleb. But I've got my opponent on the defensive, which is what I want. Mystic Ascendant? Found our Kaleb. So let's go ahead and just stay put for the turn. Secret Pages here, draws a card. And next turn we get very, very frisky. 5 red units on the board at the moment.
Be claimed by shadow.
Cultist number 2 is providing some value. What's he gonna try and kill? Blind Storyteller? Probably not one of my red units. Steadfast Deputy. Alright, so 19 I've got a deal. That's gonna be pretty tough. Kaleb.
Rebels are aiming high. Best not let them down.
Good work, man. What do we get? Healer's Cloak, got us some health. Warcry Charge, looks pretty good. Deadly, that's gonna be useful. Grenadin with Steel Fang Chakram is the most important Grenadin. And we just swing all in here. Should force some blocks from the cultists. That's really important. Steel Fang Chakram is going to be very good on a lot of different targets. I think overall we have a good chance of winning this now. Okay, 1 cultist survives. Steel Fang Chakram's going to go on a bunch of different targets. And what do you know? We found an assembly line. We'll hold on to the power, I think. No, it actually might be right to play it here. Annihilate on Kaleb, Dark Return on something with Killer, I'm guessing? No, just a Copper Conduit. Okay, that's fine. I think we have lethal since the Dawnwalkers can't block. Have to double check, but that looks like more than... Oh, it might be just a little bit short. So attack with everything, he's got 2 blockers, so that's 4 damage plus 4. I need to find a torch. Initiate doesn't quite do it. I really want to find a torch and win the game, so I think I'll go ahead and play Blind Storyteller here too. Got it. So we Steel Fang Chakram here. Attack with everything. Sorry for no A space. That was a bit more methodical than necessary. But the blocks happen. Obviously there's lethal on the board for him, so... Ouch. And there we go. So yeah, Kaleb, kind of like a worse rally on a stick, but also he does give you like card advantage. Sometimes he gets you draws off of katanas and cuirasses. He's pretty delightful for a lot of different reasons, and just having an 8/8 charge body is really, really nice. I think he's fairly interchangeable with Rally. You generally want to run him in decks with both of those, but he's really fun for this particular event because it's a good reason to run 4 secret pages and put a bunch of spells into your void for awesome things. Alright, up against Balrog. Opener looks solid enough. Initiate into Praxis banner is a little bit weird because if Initiate dies, then I don't get to play my 2-drop. But I should still be able to play a power every turn, and that's the important thing. So if we get knocked into awkwardness, that's a little bit rough, but it means that he at least spent turn 1 playing a Torch and not an Oni Ronin, so I'll live with that. What do we got, Balrog? Diplomatic Seal. And a Yeti Spy. Interesting. Alright, so rather than Amber Acolyte, I'm gonna find the way and get a Fire Sigil. That way we can maybe force him to levitate, and now we'll just torch that. Okay. The hope was to get a Yeti dead before we had to, like, waste a torch, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So I will go ahead and play Find the Way here. We don't have to play Initiate yet. This looks a little burn heavy for Skycrag. We might see Scouting Party at some point, and that's a card that we really want to answer with Claw if we can.
Safe travels, friend.
Or rather, we want to have Claw up before Scouting Party comes out, so we'll see how that plan works. Initiate jumps me from 5 to 6. So if I play it and keep a power up, then we're pretty happy campers. Go ahead and Temple Scribe. Why not just Initiate into Initiate? That's a little bit tricky because then it means I have to play this Fire Sigil. And if there's a Lightning Storm, then I'm not happy with that result. If I jump from 5 to 6 with Initiate, yeah, it's rough either way. I think we will go for it.
Time quickens.
Although, funnily enough, I didn't have to. I could have just played one of them. Alright. So we will end our turn. And we'll see what Balrog's got to offer. More Kaleb's Favor. Claw of the First Dragon effectively gains me health against this kind of burn, so I'm pretty excited about that. The Yeti Troublemaker wants to attack, we have an obvious block. Snowslinger's a bit more scary, but yeah, we got what we needed. So end my turn. I almost want to just let him have the snowball. If he levitates or something like that, that's fine. Okay. Bonk that on the head. Looking good. Make a big Pyro Knight. And swing for 2? Swing for 2. Yeah, I think the Claw kind of answered his particular aggro a little bit too well. There we go. So yeah, Claw of the First Dragon on its own wins a lot of games. And against decks that don't have the right tools to deal with it, it can be just devastating. Against decks that do have the right tools to deal with it, it still tends to cost them card advantage, but very, very worth it as a card. So, all right. Jeskmo. Praxis banners and Grenadin drones. This one's for a promotion, I think. I've been playing just like random jank all day, so this time around we're actually playing something a little bit closer to competitive. Banners, torches, Grenadin drones. I get to play a power every turn. I have Obelisk, I have Torch, I have Grenadin drone for the early game. I don't have anything that really seeks out power or makes my draws better, but I'm kind of comfy with this. I'll give it a shot. Like, I get Torch plus Drone on 2, and that seems pretty exciting. The rest of the hand is not that exciting, but I like having the Claw. It's just kind of a, you know, safety blanket. Oh, good. Find the way. Exactly the card we needed. So now we can play Grenadin Drone, have Torch up, and then next turn we can find the way, and yeah, things just get out of hand from there. Ordinarily, I view Inspire as, wow, wow. That's impressive. I can't think of the last time that's ever happened. That's cool. Alright, well, yeah. Leaving Torch up, we have our Grenadin drones. And, yeah, just, not gonna draw any Praxis banners anymore. Alright, so Seraph, basically, the objective here is to kill Seraph, so we attack with 1. Yeah. Just to let him know we have it. You can actually pull that trick against Seraphs if you don't want the Seraphs to attack you. They will generally pay attention to that trick if they know what they're doing. So we will go ahead and Praxis banner here. Find the way. Gets us a thing. And then Initiate plays out a bit early. Might get silenced, but I think it's probably right here. I did, however, leave no power open, so yeah, Seraphs gets to do that. Bit of a bummer. Alright, Praxis banner. Find the way or Xenan Obelisk? Interesting question. I think Obelisk is more important here, since it allows me to block the Sandstorm Titan, and Sandstorm Titan's a tough card to deal with. Go ahead and end my turn. Seek power is fine. I'm a little worried about Finest Hour. I don't know if this deck is going to be running it. It's pretty unlikely in Big Combre, but it can happen. Ooh, Rise to the Challenge. What do you pick up with Rise to the Challenge? Icaria? It's probably Combre with Icaria, yeah. Icaria Gold, as it's often called. He's got Sandstorm Titan down, so we could just, like, hold on tight and like have some fun that way. But I think I'd rather see this dead. Fire Sigil, find the way, end my turn. He doesn't get to play Icaria this turn, but if he does play it, he'll be facing down 5 1/1s with a bunch of buffs.
You've run far enough.
No blocks there. And I want Ironthorn dead, so I'm gonna Initiate attack. See if he'll block. Okay. He's still got to attack into me, so I will get the cards and get a decent amount of aggression out of it. Icaria is no surprise. That's 10 damage. Ooh, double Knife Jack hurts. That's a bit more damage than we were expecting to take, but I think we can live with it. Let's go ahead and swing with everything, because that's... Sorry. Swing with everything. He's got another Icaria, Life is Sad. But as it is, we've got an answer to this one.
Let me tell
Valkyrie Aspirant provides a good block for Icaria. And I think we're in a winning position here, unless he's also playing Flame Blasts. Got him. Alright, beat the Icaria Gold. That's probably, I think that was 3 pretty good games, and a promotion to Gold too, so probably a good enough demonstration of this deck's tech, especially since it's late. So let's go ahead and go to the postmortem of that kind of stuff. This is the deck that I actually run as my ranked climber, and I really like this deck for climbing in the ladder, and I think it's actually quite strong. It does, of course, still run the 4 claws and the 4 Xenan obelisks. This is a bit more focused on the early aggression. We actually ditched the Grenadin drone completely because they don't actually have that much value with rally decks. If you're trying to do other things that are more mid-rangey, like Claw the First Dragon and just general rampage. And so the ramping that we are doing is Voice of the Speaker Combre Emissary. That allows us to develop the board a little better for rallies and for stand together, which is really, really fun stuff. I think I've done Praxis tokens before. This is the latest iteration of that. I've really actually gone all in on the claws because I just find them really, really good for a lot of the current metas. They'll solve situations that normally would be unsolvable for token decks. In situations where you would normally just completely run out of gas, Claw the First Dragon will push you over in a way that people do not expect or prepare for. So I think it's really, really solid card and tends to be really effective in these particular situations. We're also running 1 Flame Blast because we have that ramp. We've got a couple of other like fun of type things in here. You can tweak this deck a little bit, but this particular version is quite strong. So that's the more ranked competitive version. And that, I believe, is it for me. So thank you so much for watching. We might do another deck tech on this particular one if things end up going well with it. But I think that it's a fun little preview anyways. So see you next time and enjoy the new event. Cheers!